you guys. So today I want to go through the end of my first trimester with you guys and just discuss what happened on week 12 on that ultrasound that in my last video I was so worried about. I want to go over what they found and what happened. So I want to make sure I did that. I am currently 14 weeks and like 4 days, I think. So I'm inching my way to week 15. So I am officially already in my second trimester. So this is just going to be my bump date for the end of the first trimester. So that will leave me right up until week 14. So let's talk about the day of my 12-week ultrasound, the translucency scan that we discussed in the last video. So you guys, I cried the whole ride to the doctors. Like, I was a mess. I was so scared. Like, I didn't sleep the night before. It was awful. So we ended up having the same tech that we did with Willow at that same ultrasound. So I don't know if she primarily does that one ultrasound or not. But anyways, so when I seen her, she remembered us, and she's, so we were talking a little bit before we even saw the scan. And of course I started crying, and she goes, please cry away, because I was like so apologetic. She's like, please cry away. Like, I completely understand what you're going through. She goes, but let's just look right away and let's see what we can see and just hope for the best. And so I said to her, I'm like, can you please just let me know right away if you see anything, because I don't know if I can handle a whole ultrasound and you not tell me what's going on. So she was super nice. Like, I think because she knew our story and what we've been through and had watched, because she told me, she ended up telling me that she ended up following our whole pregnancy journey of Willow's on how it ended, and like everything from that point on. She said she followed us because she felt, she was really heartbroken for us as well, which was really sweet and nice of her. And what really, I think, made me super emotional when I walked in there is there were sloths all over her room. I will try and clip, if I still have them, I'll try and add the photos of her area, her room with the machine, her tech room. Where you can see, and if you have been following me this far, you know exactly the meaning of the sloths. And it was just like signs everywhere that Willow was with us, and it was kind of crazy. And so that made me extra emotional. So that was not helpful. But so this little boy was not cooperative. He was super active, did not cooperate doing over the stomach. So she tried, like, she was poking my belly. She was moving him all around. He just didn't want to listen. He did not care. He was staying in the one position, but moving all around. Like, he was a hot mess that day. And we honestly was worried that we were not going to get the proper measurements for him. The first thing she didn't rule out, though, which was really relief to us, like, Josh was holding my hand. As soon as I laid down on that bed, Josh grabbed my hand, and we just literally held hands the whole entire time. Because even though he says he was not nervous, I know he was. So the first thing she ruled out is he does not have hygromas, the cystic hygromas, which I was so happy. So the next part was whether he had any high drops. So he was not cooperating. And then they also had to do the measurement in the back of the neck, which she was not able to get because he was keep on moving. So she ended up doing transvaginal. So let me tell you, it is so different to see your baby from when you do over the tummy to doing vaginal, which I'm going to show you. When you do the transvaginal ultrasound at this stage at 12 weeks, because I was actually 12 weeks and 2 days, I believe. What was I? I can tell you right now. Yeah, I was 12 weeks and 2 days. So just to put it out there, you guys, and not drag this on, he is completely healthy. She was able to get the measurements. She was even able to find his stomach, which she says was very good. She even let us know that he had his nasal bone already, so which was a great sign that he don't have Down syndrome, because apparently kids with Down syndrome don't have that nasal bone. So she was ruling out things left and right, and it was amazing, and it was so emotional. Just thinking about it now makes me super emotional, because for the first time I was like, this could be it. This could be the baby we get to take home, because here we are at 12 weeks and he's completely healthy. Oh, I thought I was not going to do this, but I am. I'm pregnant. It happens a lot. But it was the first time I could actually take a deep breath and be like, okay, so this might actually be happening. And we were just so happy that day. Like, just the pure joy of knowing that we just went over a huge hump that most people shouldn't go through. But unfortunately we've experienced before. So, let me show you him at 12 weeks. So the first photo I'm going to show you is him over the stomach, which is so crazy. When you see it, when you see the difference, you guys are going to blow your minds, because my mind is blown just looking at him again. But this was the best profile picture she could get of him over the stomach. So that is, I don't want it to glare. That's over the stomach. You ready? This is transvaginal. How crazy is he? You could see his little nose, his brain, his legs, his umbilical cord, which is right there, his arms. Look at his little button nose. And then, if you guys look at this one, right here, you see all those like white little spots? Those are her fingertips. He had his hands in front of his face. But look at that. Look how crazy that is. That's transvaginal. That is not. It's so crazy. So this by far is the best photo we have of our little man right here. But I think he has mama's nose. Just saying. Gosh, don't think so, but I do. So these are my favorite pictures that I have as of right now. But so yeah, you guys, he is completely healthy and growing, and he was measuring on time that appointment. And his heart rate, I don't have a photo of it, but I think it was like 152 maybe. So then I had to go in for the following week. I had my 13-week appointment with the doctor, where she did the exam, tested me for all kinds of STDs, and did all the blood work. And also, I should mention too, is the same day as my 12 weeks, so the week before, I did my NIPT test as well. And I'll get into those results in a little bit later. But, so I am going in for that, and she was trying to find his heartbeat, and she couldn't find his heartbeat with the Doppler. So she said because of my history, she would not let me leave there without knowing that baby's okay. So we went in for another ultrasound. He was completely fine and moving all around, being very active. In fact, I'm going to show you the photos I got, but you can't make him out because he was so active. Like, he's really blurry in these photos because he was moving around and would not settle down for one photo. So I'll just show you. So, like, you can see his spine pretty good though. But like, all these photos are so bad because he just would not, you see his feet up here, he just would not stop moving. This boy, he's gonna give me a run for my money. But yeah, you can see his feet all the way in the air, right there. Oh, nope, right there is his feet. But he was fine, and I think his heart rate was in the 150s again. So he was completely fine and moving around and all about, and probably why she couldn't find his heartbeat. And so those are the photos that I have. That ends pretty much my first trimester. So symptoms. So let's go over that. I went up in the hospital because I was so worried. At 13 weeks, I had landed up coming home from work one day and my underwear were completely soaked. Like, completely soaked. Didn't smell like urine. I don't think I peed myself, as I would think I would feel myself peeing myself. I'm not that far along where I wouldn't recognize myself pissing myself. So I just kind of like shrugged it off, like, okay, it's just probably like discharge. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Like, I'm not in pain. The normal cramping that I experience every now and then. And so I just kind of let it be. Then the very next day, the next morning, I was soaked again. I'm like, oh my God. So I started freaking out. I started Googling. Google hates me. And it's talking about it could be a rupture of your membrane and all this stuff. And it can happen as early as 14 weeks. But however, I was only 13 weeks. So I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know. So I called the doctor and they couldn't squeeze me in. So they told me to go to the hospital right away. So now I'm freaking out even more. So I waited 6 hours at the hospital. They did all these kind of tests. They tested the fluids. It was not urine, so I was not peeing myself, thankfully. It was not amniotic fluid, thankfully. Apparently what it is most women don't experience this until their third trimester. However, I'm lucky and I started it. I was right at the very beginning of my second trimester, because second trimester really starts at 13 weeks and 3 days. A lot of people don't know that. So I was 13 weeks and 6 days. It was a day before because it was over the weekend. It was a day before I was about to turn 14 weeks. So I was right there in my second trimester. So they were not. So anyways, so she told me that it is just extremely heavy discharge that I usually would experience in my third trimester that I am experiencing now. So she goes, it is not common. It's uncommon for it to happen, but it does happen in women, some women. So yeah, I'm not peeing myself. I'm just discharging a lot, pretty heavy sometimes. So like it literally feels like I'm pissing myself or I have pissed myself. So that's fun. That is a fun pregnancy trait. I have been suffering from headaches. They do come and go, but when they come, they're pretty bad. I'm very tired. And the nausea is still here. So, yeah, so that's what pretty much the end of my first trimester is pretty much what I was experiencing. And then I had got my NIPT test. Now, you guys, I was freaking out that this was not a boy. Like, I was freaking out. It was really a girl. Like, you don't even know how much I was freaking out. So, every time Josh would say it's a boy, I'm like, yeah, until we're proven otherwise. Like, I was just freaking out. So, first of all, because I don't know how Josh would react if we found out it was a girl after being told it's a boy. So, because he's really excited this is a boy. And as am I. Let me tell you, I'm so grateful it's a boy because I don't know how mentally I would have handled being pregnant with a girl. But it's 100% a boy. The NIPT test did come back as a male. So both blood tests came back as a male. So if I have an ultrasound, they tell me there's a vagina in there, there's something wrong. So I expect to see a penis on my anatomy scan in a couple weeks. So let me just tell you. So we are 100% having a boy. And he is healthy, you guys. Everything came back low risk. So far, so good. As that first trimester ended, everything is great with him. He's an active little boy that is healthy and doing what needs to be done. So I'm going to end you on that good note, and I will probably start doing maybe 2 or 3 week bump dates as I progress, because I am going in for a private ultrasound on the 16th or 17th week. I'm like right at the borderline. I think it's like a day before my 17th week. And then my anatomy scan is at 21 weeks, right the day before Thanksgiving. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So I might do that. Also, a couple of you have reached out to me and asked about gifting me things, which I really do appreciate that. I might do a separate video. I probably will do a separate video to address that. So let's just end this video, you guys. So that's the first trimester. We have made it to the second trimester, you guys. And it's a scary place to be, because this is where we were when we lost Willow. And where we were at the end of our second trimester when we lost the twins. So making it to the third trimester is a big deal for us. So I am just praying and very hopeful, you guys, that this baby is going to be our earthbound baby. And every day that I stay pregnant with a healthy boy, I am ecstatic and so hopeful. So, yay. All right, you guys, you have a great day. Till the next video.